guys, Teacher Milena here, and you with me today is going to help explain the speaking section of the IELTS exam for you. Part by part, I'm going to help you with the strategies for the answers, how to answer the questions, and give you tips and hacks to answer them correctly and score your points. Get the band score that you need. The speaking section of the IELTS exam is divided into 3 parts. Today we are working with part 1, so let's get to work. How many sections are there in the IELTS speaking part 1? The examiner will ask you for an introduction. Then they may also ask you 1 or 2 questions on the following: where you live, your hometown, where you study, where you work. After this, they ask you more questions using extra topics among a wide variety of possible topics. So you have 3 sections for your part 1. Let's understand them better, taking a look at these examples of questions. Questions about your hometown. Can you describe your hometown? What is the most interesting there? What would be the best way for me to travel around your hometown? Should I go there at any special time of the year? Is there anything you don't like about your hometown? Questions about your work. What job do you do? Why did you choose this particular job? What do you do every day? What other work would you consider doing? When describing your hometown, the essential part is that you are well aware of the city. When describing your home, you will need to keep basic vocabulary in your mind related to homes and residential flats, apartments. The examiner will look for a wide range of vocabulary in your sentence. Remember collocations for this part of the test. When describing your home, you can use some descriptions like a cozy home, a high-rise building, a spacious flat, a well-equipped gym, a huge playground, well-connected roads. When answering the examiner about your work and experience, be very polite and simple. Be prepared for questions about your studies as well. Answer it in the same way you deal with work-related questions, straightforward and simple. Be polite all the time. Then, you'll be asked 2 or 3 questions on different topics, such as... Here we have a variety of topics that may appear to you. At this point, it is important that you practice as many topics as you can in order to improve your vocabulary skills and grammar structures regarding these topics. We are checking some steps in a little while, so you can use these steps with all the topics. And the day of the exam, you'll be ready then to talk about anything and everything. Take a look now at how some of these questions may appear to you. We have some examples of questions regarding travel. Okay? Do you like to travel? What kind of places have you visited? What is the best place you have ever visited? Which place would you like to visit? Who do you usually travel with? Questions regarding music. What kind of music do you enjoy? What kind of music do you dislike? How often do you listen to music? How does music make you feel? Let's take a look now at some hacks that we use. The do's and don'ts for your IELTS exam. The things that you should consider and the ones you should definitely avoid. Let's start with the do's, the things you should do. Listen for the keywords in the questions. Ask if you don't understand. Give details, examples, and reasons. Stick to the point. Think you will do well. Trust your skills. Relate questions to your own life. It's easier to talk about things you are familiar with and that you know more about. Use techniques to start when you cannot speak immediately, when you are still formulating your answer. It's very interesting that you asked that. It's a good idea to talk, Correct yourself, guys. Mistakes are not the end of the world. Sound natural and conversational, and use the transition words and phrases. Now let's move on to the don'ts. Avoid this at all costs. Speak with monotone, no intonation in the sentence. Repeat the question. Go off topic. Answer, I don't know. Speak too quickly or too slowly. Memorize pre-prepared texts. Ramble for several minutes with irrelevant information. Slouch in your chair. Avoid eye contact. Look bored. Panic. And waste the time and focus trying to see the examiner notes. Now that we have a pretty good idea about what topics I may have to talk about, let's check some steps, some procedures that can help you prepare for the first part of your exam. Think of responses. Choose one topic and think about how to answer it. For each question, you want to think about reasons and short stories to help add complexity to your response. Create a word list. Write down unusual words, idioms, and phrases that you could use when talking about the topic. Record yourself. Use your phone to record your answers. Try to use the words, idioms, and phrases you wrote down for this topic. Use transition words and stories to add structure and depth. If you don't remember the transition words, here are some for you. Introductions to me, for me, personally, I think that. Examples. I remember when I was, for example, take for example. Additions. Also, on top of that. Secondly, conclusions. So that's why. So to sum up. So yeah, I definitely. Review the recording. Try to notice mistakes that you might have made. Pay attention to words you had a hard time pronouncing or a lack of intonation. Re-record response. Record a new response to the same question, focusing on improving your answer and correcting your mistakes. Now let's take a look at the rubrics for IELTS. What do they observe on your band score? How do they assess you? Understanding it may help you when correcting yourself and what to focus on while analyzing your recording. There are 4 strands to the band descriptors. Fluency and coherence. This is about your rate of speech and whether you can continue speaking without stopping too much. It is also about how well you organize and order your ideas and how well you connect your ideas. With words like next, secondly, because of that, in order to, because of, lexical resource. This is about the range and accuracy of your language, how appropriate is your language, and how well you can get around the gap in your language knowledge by using alternative words. Grammatical range and accuracy. This is about the length of your sentences and if you are using a wide range of language structures, such as relative and subordinate clauses and noun phrases. Accuracy is measured by the number of grammatical errors you make and the effect of those errors on communication. Pronunciation is about how understandable your speech is to the IELTS examiner. I highlight again the importance of an English teacher for grammar structures, pronunciation, and intonation. These may be elements difficult to assess and correct by ourselves, so keep that in mind. And also keep in mind that every Thursday we have more tips and life hacks for your IELTS here on Tea With Me. Time to practice is important for a high band score. The higher the band score you need, the higher your skills need to be. If you are not sure about your current level of English, check in with an English teacher. If you want to have extra advanced grammar classes, subscribe to the channel Every Friday, we have grammar lessons to help you structure better sentences and work with idioms, collocations, and structures the best way possible for your exam. Next Thursday, we explore the second part of your IELTS exam. Until then, you can start advancing grammar with us and practicing for part 1. See you guys!